What's up? Rage Raven 5278 here. Welcome back to another episode of another reaction video, really. But today we're gonna be checking out the Blood of the Dawnwalker. They just released a 20-minute demo, and this is one of those games that I'm actually kind of looking more forward to because this is actually made by some people that made The Witcher 3. So that's why I'm kind of more excited about this one than Witcher 4. But then again, we're about to see a whole lot more about this game than Witcher 4, so that's still subjective, I guess. But anyways, let's get into it, man. So, like I said, we're just gonna react and to see what we're getting our hands into, man. So, 'cause I don't know what to expect. I don't know if we're expecting just another Witcher game or what, but yeah. Okay, so they're already telling us this is probably a little bit more real than what we got in the Witcher 4 demo. You know, the one that the dev said, oh, but by the way, that wasn't real. You know. Oh man, people. Why are people so scared of showing off gameplay?
Hello, my name is Daniel Sadowski, and I'm the design director at Rebel Wolves.
Oh yeah, this is definitely,
like
already freaking Witcher vibes right here, man. The mountain, the foresty and shit. A little bit of Oblivion vibes too.
Due to the Blood of Dawnwalker summer gameplay video. Our game is a story-driven, open-world.
The UI looks super looks like an Ubisoft game though. So I mean, yeah, I don't really. Oh man, that makes me want to puke now that I say that. But
set in medieval Europe. The game is currently in pre-beta stage, and what we are going to show you is just a part of one of the mid-game quests. It's a really cool story involving legendary swords and a haunted almshouse, but today we'll focus on showcasing our gameplay systems. We're starting on the outskirts of Svartro, the game's largest city and the capital of Vale Sangora. From here, we could head anywhere the eye can see, explore ancient ruins or sabotage vampire blood transports. But it's not just about where or when you go. It's also about how you approach the main quest and shape the story, making each playthrough uniquely your own. For now, we're following the road. Cohen is on his way to the city's cathedral, chasing leads about a powerful weapon said to be hidden in its crypts. But first, we'll have to deal with some bandits who camped out by the main road.
It's common enemy in any freaking open world game there is, man.
The world is dense with quests, random encounters, and locations steep in lore. This will be a great opportunity to show you our combat system. Our goal was to make the player feel like a real swordmaster who closely observes his enemies. We'll begin.
Okay, that's interesting. As soon as he said real swordmaster, I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't look like freaking anything like Kingdom Come Deliverance, and that was like the most realistic sword thing. The fact that you have to observe your enemy while fighting, dude, that is so new. I like it. By the way, have anybody else noticed that it made this guy's hair look similar to Geralt, just without the ponytail, he gets a bun?
In this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you attack, you choose one of 4 directions, up, down, left or right, in order to hit the opponent where he's unable to parry. And similarly, when defending, you have to take note of the enemy's intent and the direction of the attack. On the left side of the screen, just above Cohen's health, you have activation charges that will be filled in with each successful attack, block, and parry.
Oh, we have a stamina meter? Okay, so it's another Dark Souls-like game where the enemies has a break bar, you have a stamina bar, and blah, 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 blah. Listen, man, I do like the Dark Souls game, but golly, we're getting so many of them these days, man. It's crazy.
Can use one of the active abilities which allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting.
Okay, so we got decapitation.
We started the fight by throwing some acrid dust. And now let's cast Burning Blood. It's a hex which boils the enemy's blood and burns their skin, dealing physical damage over time.
So there's the magic. There's the magic, just like Geralt.
To finish this,
I like it.
Let's use the final activation charge to cast the archery attack, which
that was cool.
Actually decapitated.
Okay, I gotta be honest. It definitely looks like an indie game. Like, and I think that's what we all need to like kind of look at this game like. This isn't like this art. This is coming from the same people, or some of the same people who made The Witcher 3, but this is not the same company that made The Witcher 3. So obviously they're on a much lower budget than like than the people that made the company that made Witcher 3. The combat kind of looks a little strange. It just looks super B movie as, which I'm not like offended by or anything like that, because we played so many B-rated games on the channel here, and I just grew in love with them, especially the freaking Sherlock Holmes game. But I really like the fact that it's not just like there's some sort of tactics in this one. It's so weird, but it's like real world or real time combat mixed in with timed combat, So I think that's very interesting. I like that.
The last opponent. Our hero quickly dispatched the bandits, so let's loot a few items they've left behind and open the inventory.
By the way, I rock with what my boy has on, man.
First of
all black,
let's
bro.
replenish
Can't go
our
back.
health by eating something. And then take a closer look at this cool-looking weapon we just picked up.
It looks so low level.
It has better stats than our current weapon, so let's equip it right now.
It's just like an
We've also
RPG
leveled
game.
up, so let's use this opportunity to spend the newly acquired
Wait,
skill.
hold up. Arcane binding, cast hexes that last longer. So that's like the magic and stuff. But I find it interesting they're calling it hexes, kind of witchery. Witches. Hexes have a 20% chance to deal an additional damage on hit. Okay, that's not bad.
Point in one of Cohen's skill trees.
Frugal witchcraft. Hex casting costs 10%. You know what? That's pretty interesting. So you're actually because you're cutting yourself, which it's kind of hits close. But the fact that like you're cutting yourself to like use the magic, it also damages you. So again, a little bit of tactics involved. I do not mind that.
The skills in the Blood of Dawnwalker are
I like the
divided
background
into
art,
three
by the way.
trees.
It looks really
one
cool.
for human, one for vampire, and one shared between the two. We also have an active abilities panel. We can use it to unlock additional abilities to use during combat. Note that during the day, the health bar is not regenerating. You need to find consumables like the one we've just eaten. The hexes we've just used.
That is so fucking cool. So obviously, like, we're a vampire, but in the daytime, as the guy says, you need to find consumable like health items and food to heal. But I imagine when it's nighttime, when we're not a vampire but a Vrakiri, then we're gonna be a then health is
also
gonna
consume
regenerate.
some of Cohen's health. Be aware of that. The way our magic system works, there's always a price to pay for manipulating reality.
You know what?
But
I kind of like
we
that.
can make it sting a bit less. Let's level up the frugal witchcraft skill, so next time we'll cast a hex, it'll consume fewer of Cohen's health points.
I kind of like that. To
Now
be
that
honest.
we've wrapped up the encounter with the bandits,
See,
we
the only problem though with the fact that like it's gonna cost health to use magic is that it kind of shows that there's not gonna really be a class system to where, oh, you want to be a two-handed dude, you be a two-handed dude. You want to be a mage, you be a mage. Like, it looks like our guy is a guy, like so many RPG games nowadays just have it to where, oh, hey man, this is you're the character, you be who you want to be and stuff like that. And it was like, hey, you know what, some games like that, like Skyrim, stuff like that, I'm totally cool with. But there are games out there where it's RPG where we don't play as our character, like me, we play as a character like Geralt in The Witcher, and it just works. By the way, Geralt had pretty good magical thing, so I mean, the fact that you have to use health to use magic, though, I gotta be honest, I kind of like it. It makes you think every time you gotta use
the
it.
city. Right now, Cohen hasn't done enough to ruffle the vampire lord's feathers, so the gods will just wave us through. But the more damage you cause, the more suspicious and aggressive they'll become. So when you play the game yourself, you'll have to decide whether you want to challenge the vampires openly, or lay low until you're ready to strike and surprise them.
It's even bigger than I remembered. And it's
I like the
grander
music
than
already,
before.
by the way.
They're putting in those
It's
stained
very
glass.
witchery.
The Knyaz doesn't deny the old faith.
It's really
Hands in
nice.
my face.
This is the rich district of the city, Silberkreis. There's also Altenmarkt, Neustadt, and the Middens. Each of the boroughs has its own feel and character.
Get your stinking ass out of here. I was just passing through.
Again, you can very easily tell it's a B-rated game, so I think that's gonna throw a lot of people off. But people like
Moving
me who
high
are
over
used
the
to
city-
playing these B-rated games like Sherlock Holmes, stuff like that, we're gonna feel right at home. You know, it's not gonna bother us.
Is Brancis's castle, Greifberg. He took it over when he slaughtered the human ruler of the valley, Skender, as shown in the trailer we shared with you earlier in January this year. In order to complete the main quest and save your family, you'll have to storm the castle, alone or with help of friendly NPCs. We could do it right now if we wanted, but it would be super challenging.
Okay, I kind of hope we actually get to see that happen, though.
Oh, let me. I just want to. Oh, let me in.
I do like, you know what, I do respect the fact that there's a lot of characters
check them out.
interacting with each other, so it makes the world feel more alive. You know, like Oblivion started with that, and it was pretty awkward, you know, just watching two Oblivion NPCs talk to each other. But I really like the fact that there's a lot of interaction between civilians and guards and stuff like that. It's makes it feel
The
more alive.
cathedral is really close. There's plenty of
Okay, this we have to. All right, I have to see this. All right, so they're gonna have a cathedral in this game, which is cool. You know, religion stuff like that. You know, you do you, right? But we're a vampire, so usually it's stereotypical that Christ, it burns. You know, oh no, Jesus.
the
But
places
like,
to see and
let's see what
things to
they
do
do.
here. A couple of inns, a medic, a blacksmith, an armorer, and other merchants.
okay, so typical, like, dude, okay, I'm so sorry that I had to come back and talk about Ubisoft game, but Ubisoft game has spoiled the crap out of me when it comes to these open world games, because that's all they make, and, I don't know, man, it's just like, when I see armor, weapon, this, that, it's like, okay, well, it's nothing new, you know, but let's continue to see,
You can see that not only the vampires came out of the shadows. This creature
Wait, that's a vampire, what the,
on the right is called an Uriash.
Urias?
Look around, especially at night, and you'll learn humans have lots to fear, not just the vampires.
Okay, I like that. So there's different races in this world too. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm getting into it already, man. The music,
And here we can see guards pounding on some poor guy's doors.
like I said, NPC interaction. That's what we need, man. Make the world feel alive.
Singing songs that mock
The only thing is, though, is that again, kind of being spoiled by Assassin's Creed, is that it seems like we're all gonna be staying low
It's
to the
just
ground.
one of many different community scenes we're implementing in the game. Watch them closely when you play, as they might point you to new quests and hidden treasures, or signal changes in the game's world.
Okay, they already know. They knew I was gonna make a video of this. They knew I was gonna talk about it, and they delivered. So I respect y'all. So, I ain't gonna lie. Who's it? Bandai Namco is making this? I mean, well, obviously it's a publisher, so. Again, the music is. Okay, I'm sorry. This last time we talked about the music. All right.
Okay, we are at the cathedral gates. Again, since Cohen isn't yet wanted by the vampire regime, and it's daytime, we can simply walk inside.
Okay, so you can walk inside the cathedral when it's daytime.
The baptism of a newborn is a solemn moment, doubly so.
He has the high scar like
A new life joins our flock, bringing happiness to its parents and to the congregation. Natus ex sanguine est, alitur sanguine, et in sanguine morietur. Ego te baptizo in nomine Dei. Amen.
This is pretty interesting. I'm gonna say why in a minute.
Don't I know you from somewhere, young man? Laslia, maybe?
I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken.
Am I?
This is the first time we ever heard this guy talk.
Perhaps. My memory isn't what it used to be. Come with me. I'll take your confession.
Thank you, but I have no need for confession.
Ah, so you deem your conscience clear?
I wouldn't go that far. But I'm sure you're a busy man, Father. So while I appreciate the offer, I feel that my soul shouldn't be your priority.
I won't press the matter. You are quite correct. I have many other duties to attend to. But please remember that in order to be saved, we all need to repent. Myself included. I hope we can speak again soon. Good day to you, Cohen.
Okay, so what I was gonna say is that I find it really interesting how they're gonna be putting, I guess, real world religion into this. Like, I'm only assuming that this is like JC, like Christianity and stuff like that, but they're also putting this in a fantasy world, which, like, okay. The reason why I like fantasies is because it kind of takes you out of that real life concept, you know, like you can feel like you're actually taking a break from the world and just going into another world, being a person, being whatever, right? And one thing I really love about the Elder Scrolls series is the religious aspect of it, you know, with the Aedra and the Daedra gods and stuff like that. I'm super interested if this is going to be like the real world, like religious stuff, if this is going to, like how it's going to transform into a fantasy realm, and the fact that we're a vampire, you know? So, but, interesting. All right, keep going, let's go.
What we saw right here was just one of many cutscenes we recorded for the game, which smoothly transitioned into a dialogue scene. We use cutscenes to highlight key scenes or showcase interesting bits of lore. Like,
you know, I just realized too is that there's a time quest on the upper right that says we got 22 days left to rescue your family. You know what? Anybody who's played Persona and stuff like that is probably used to that, so they probably don't even mind it. But I'm kind of wondering about like people who aren't. So, I mean, I'm interested in it, so, but, all right.
Like this blood baptism. Creepy.
One thing I also gotta say, too, is that, like, when it comes to, like, the religious stuff, is that you can tell that there's a lot of, inspiration from real-world things into these fantasy games. So, if this is supposed to be, like, another religion or something like that in this fantasy world, it's not supposed to be, like, real-world stuff, then I'm really, interested in seeing how much of our world that they put and inspired into this world, so.
Isn't it? The core feature of the Blood of Dawnwalker is the dual gameplay loop. Remember,
yeah, they got
Cohen
Deacon,
may
they
be
got
human
the
during
baptism.
day,
Like, I'm
but
thinking this
he
might be
turns
a real
into
world.
a vampire at night.
That's what I
and
figured.
has a different set of skills at his disposal. And this is just one variable that affects our quests. Depending on when you tackle a particular quest, what choices you've made earlier, whom you befriended, or whom you've angered, your gameplay and story experience will be very, very different. So each quest is a complex structure with multiple possible paths leading to the end goal. We maximize players' freedom and agency, offering you a narrative sandbox to play in. I wonder what secrets may be concealed up there, just beyond Cohen's reach. And how do we get there? It's impossible to do during the day, but come night, it's an entirely different story.
Oh crap,
Let
here
us
we go.
explain what we mean by taking our current quest as an example. During the day, we got inside the cathedral without any problems, since it's open for all to see and Cohen doesn't yet stand out from the crowd.
Alright, so our boy's name is
The
Cohen.
scaffolds,
That's a cool
though,
name.
are outside of his reach. But climbing them won't be a problem for the vampire.
Listen, even though I said that this game definitely looks indie, it still looks good. Like, you can make a game not like, you know, Unreal Engine 5 and make it still look really
Has
good.
many more exploration abilities at his disposal.
That's how you do it.
Bear in mind, Cohen has not completed the quest yet. What's more, there are still a few clues to be found in order to solve this story.
That's pretty
It's
cool. I
worth
like
mentioning
that.
narrative sandbox also
One
means
thing
that
I always love, man. I'm sorry if I'm like pausing too much, but this is what a reaction does. One thing I always love to do in video games, though, is looking up into the night sky. So that looks really cool.
we may completely abandon this quest and follow a different path to defeat Brensis. For today, we're focusing on the gameplay part, so let's see how we could tackle this particular quest during the night. We're starting right after dusk, as a vampire, on the rooftops of
Okay,
Startron.
okay, and it's
Right now,
addressing
we
what I
have
was
20
talking about. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. I was just talking about, oh man, it looks like we're going to be walking on foot a lot. Assassin's Creed kind of spoiled me going from building to building, but here we are on a rooftop.
2 days left to complete this goal. This counter is always displayed and you will be warned each time it's pushed forward. So you have to be aware of the time, and it's more of a resource you'll be spending than a racing clock.
Hopefully we
As a
can
vampire,
hopefully we can progress time forward though or backwards. You know, so if we want to like take on a mission as a vampire, then we can just advance time.
See and experience the world from a different perspective. You can travel quickly and easily access places beyond the reach of regular humans. Let us show you what we mean. This is Shadow Step, a unique vampiric ability.
I mean, it looks
Colin
like
to
Blink
jump
from
to
Dishonored,
almost
so
any
it's
place
nothing
within
new.
his reach. Now let's take a good look around using the focus mode.
Okay. Witcher sense.
This ability highlights objects of interest and loot.
Ooh.
And there is something right here. This time it's just some items to grab, but on other occasions, who knows?
Okay. I like that. I really like that. So there are going to be some places that you can't access to as a human that you can as a vampire, but if you choose to take your time and explore, which is what these open world games needs to be, man, it needs to have you explore and get rewarded to find stuff like that, then that is going to make me like enjoy I'm gonna enjoy the game more because I love exploring. So that's why I love Elden Ring, man, because it lets you explore and you get
You
rewarded.
might come across a hidden quest.
A hidden quest.
Looks
Okay.
like our health is quite low. This is because, as a vampire, your health bar also represents your hunger level, and you start each night thirsting for blood.
What?
Remember, you have to quench this appetite in order to make full use of your vampire
Okay,
abilities.
that makes sense. That makes
And
sense.
rein in your monstrous nature around NPCs. Otherwise, you may end up draining someone important, which may lead to unpredictable consequences. We'd better feed then. Maybe on someone who is standing all alone. Like this drunkard. Let's grab him and use Voracious Bite ability. Unless you lose control due to hunger, you get to decide how much blood to drink. You can drain just a bit and knock your victim unconscious, or go all the way and kill them. And if you're adamant you don't want to hurt innocent humans, you can drink from animals and some other creatures.
What? Yo, that's so cool. Listen, man, ever since I watched that episode of Supernatural where they found like vampires that drink on animal blood and stuff like that, I've always found that concept pretty cool, and I never understood why video games don't ever like kind of involve that. So the fact that you can actually be like, if you want to be, I guess, a vegan vampire, then instead of, or unless a cannibal vampire, then you can just feed on animals. Dude, I kind of like that because then you can role play as a good, like as a super good guy, or you can role play as a super bad guy and just eat people. That's awesome. Like, games that let us be evil douchebags are probably the most fun games out there. And not Dragon Age. Okay, Velgard I meant.
Finally, we are at the cathedral, but it seems to be closed for the night, and the entrance gate is well guarded. Let's find another way in. Shadow Step is not the only vampiric ability you're gonna learn during your playthrough. Cohen can also use plane shift to scale walls and even ceilings smoothly.
That's awesome. Oh my god, we can finally walk on walls. Bro, listen, I know we had this in the Spider-Man game, but it seemed like Spider-Man was the only game that we could ever do that. Now we could freaking walk on walls in another
This
game.
will allow us to explore every nook and cranny of the cathedral.
Blood to blood.
Better be quiet.
That's pretty cool. You're using his claws to slide down the thing. You won't be able to do that as a human.
What the hell is she doing here? What is she doing? Is that a ritual for the blood gods?
You shall want for nothing.
They're covering up the old paintings.
Only
Why?
duty shall remain.
One of the workers must have left it. Seems that the cathedral complex is quite big. The main building, cloisters, inner courtyard. The entrance to the crypt could be anywhere. Won't get anything done just standing around. Still.
This was a scene investigation, a mechanic we used to zoom in on and showcase key clues. This time we had a chance to learn more about the vampire's plans. Looks like they're keen to cover up the old frescoes, so that's something we could take a look at. This way we could learn more about the cathedral's past.
Blood to blood. You shall
Looks like we aren't alone here. Underneath us there's a group of blood guards, soldiers hooked up on vampire blood, which makes them stronger. And one of Brances's vampire allies. It's Xanthi, the oldest vampire in Vale Sangora, and quite a powerful lady. Let's descend and check what's going on.
Don't think I don't see you skulking in the shadows. Come out! You're interfering with my task. Who are you?
It doesn't matter.
Very well. I don't have time for interruptions. Let us dispose of him. Quickly! You withstood it.
Yeah, dude.
Go
Again,
on.
it looks very like the combat just looks very Dark Soulsy. Like, look at the size of that health bar, and then oh man, there's a break meter too. Like, it's not like I don't like the Dark Soulsy games. It's just that I'm kind of tired of them, to be honest. But let's check out the combat.
Is using his claws to attack when in vampire form.
That's
Blood
pretty cool.
guards are dual-wielding opponents. Their attacks are pretty strong. Of course, even when fighting with claws, combat is still directional. Don't worry, Cohen can still use his sword as a vampire.
You haven't lived long.
Only after defeating all three of the blood guards, Xanthi deems Cohen worthy of a challenge, and she descends to face him. She uses her blood control powers to cast a multitude of attacks, like her blood whips, that hit Cohen from left and right. Xanthi is protected by a powerful vampire ability. Once her stamina runs out, Cohen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthi is quick to counterattack and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen in the CGI trailer. So, if we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0 and Cohen will eventually explode.
Ah, that's so
And
cool.
we're dead. Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthi is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here and right now is very much possible, but it would be hellishly difficult. A fun challenge for hardcore players.
Yeah, I respect that, dude. Like, I mean, if you want to make a game hard, don't be afraid to make a game hard, you know? Like, that's what I'm always saying. That's why I'm playing so much Ready or Not. That's why I love the Soulsborne game. Like I'm not saying that all games should be challenging or anything like that, but I don't want devs who wants to make a hard game be scared that they're not gonna make the game, like they're not gonna get their money back because people are afraid of a challenging game, bro. Look at Elden Ring, alright?
Otherwise, we could load the game and explore the cathedral without drawing her attention. Or try to get to her while she's not surrounded by bodyguards. Xanthi, like all other vampire allies, has her own questline. Explore it, and you can learn more about her past, motivations, and maybe even try to reason with her. What you do is entirely up to you. Remember, our design principle is the narrative sandbox. There is no difference between main quests and side quests. There's just different stories that you weave together into your own unique adventure. But that's coming in 2026. For now, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this gameplay video presentation. We've just shown you a tiny glimpse of the blood of Dawnwalker. There's definitely more to come in the coming months, so stay tuned for any updates being posted.
Okay, first of all, let's see if the Blood of Dawnwalker has sorry, Wiener, I'm gonna have to delay your thing here real quick, and we need to go ahead. I just need to see how much this game is gonna be, because if it's like a full price $70, you know, kind of crap, and nah. So yeah, I didn't really think there was gonna be a price in detail. So yeah, I gotta be honest, this game looks more, well, you know, more like AA than AAA or anything like that. Which again, I'm totally fine with. Like I said, we play so many of them that it's kind of become a staple on the channel, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm interested in seeing what this game has, but I do want to see more of it, just so and then again, the price is definitely gonna determine whether I want to you know, buy it or not. If it's $80, then fuck that, bro. I ain't paying $80 for this game. I haven't paid $80 for a game anyways. But yeah, I'm interested, you know. I really like the setting so far. I want to see more of the world as well, you know. Because I think it's very important for a game to make you actually feel immersed, like an actual character. You know, while exploring the world and all that stuff. So, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and yeah, that's all I got to say. So, where's the thing I can just end it off on? Here we go. But anyways, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.